Greetings from Florida. Hi everybody, I'm Pam Rosen, and I'm here to wish Stage 1 a happy 35th anniversary. It's hard to believe it, but I was actually at that first meeting back in 1988 when everybody was sitting around in a room going, you know, maybe we gotta form a theater company. Since that time, I acted, I produced, I directed, I won one of these, and I had to throw it in there. And Stage 1 made up a good portion of my life. I was on that stage, all the stages. So was my husband, so was my son. We performed at Irvington. We performed at American. We performed at the School for the Blind. We performed at Newark Memorial. We performed anywhere we could in those early days. And then we decided to get our own facility, and that's when things really got, you know, to this day when I perform or direct or do something in theater where there's budget, I think anybody can do that, right? Because we made theater out of nothing. Stephanie asked me to send some backstage video and things like that, and I thought to myself, we didn't have backstage video. It's not like we had, you know, cell phones and stuff back there in the 90s when we were taking video backstage. It just wasn't happening. And also, we had to keep our eyes open all the time. In those days, we had walls that were literally made out of office partitions with a fabric that you could put push pins in and stuff like that. And those were what separated backstage from on stage. I mean, we were lucky if the light stayed on throughout the entire performance, and sometimes they didn't. It was one of those situations where anything we had, we could use to make theater. And I still like that the best. One of my favorite memories has to be when I was directing A Christmas Carol in the warehouse space, which was ambitious. It was bigger than the theater would really allow. I know that now. I didn't know that then. And there was a moment when we had to have lots of fog. There were lots of moments when we had lots of fog. And I was up in the booth, and the booth was it was literally the ceiling or the roof of the bathroom structure that Lee Watson built. And I was standing up there waiting for the cue for the fog to start. And from my vantage point, I look over to my left and I can see the stage, and I look over to my right and I can see what's going on backstage. And I see all the cast members are kind of milling around backstage, and they're going like, going like this. And I'm looking back there, and I realize the fog machine has backfired and shot all of the fog into the backstage area, and none of it was going on to the onstage area. That's the kind of thing we had to deal with all the time. But it was creative. We made stuff out of nothing. We had good audiences. We filled that place. There was 140 seats in there, all of which Nudie and Paul got from the renovation of the Paramount Theater in Oakland. And so they were those old seats. And we just moved them all into the warehouse. And we filled those seats. So I miss you all. Happy 35th anniversary, Stage 1. Here's to 35 more. And I hope to see you again someday.